Hello everyone, I'm just outside Burton Upon Trent, which is in Staffordshire, and I'm walking the track bed of the former North Staffordshire Railway. Going to follow it up to Stretton Claymills station, then I'm going to keep going through Rolleston On Dove station, and then I'm going to cross over into Derbyshire to Egginton Junction, and if I've done my sums right, I'm going to have a look around a former World War II army depot, and I think there might be some track remains. Need to stop meeting like this, and then by the fifth time it's just awkward, isn't it? So straight away, this is Stretton and Claymills station. Absolutely nothing left, unfortunately. That was a big road bridge ahead, which has obviously all been filled in, but thankfully, you know, they have left something, do you know what I mean, some kind of mark that that this was a railway. Let's just have a look at this. I think there's some sort of computer generated views of what it would have looked like. Here we go. So we're here. See, this is saying that the station is on the other side, but I'm not convinced by that, but I might be completely wrong. No, that's wrong. We're here, and on the other side there we should be able to find a gravel dump, I think is what it's called. So there you go. So there's coming into the station, so just behind where we've been. That's passing under the bridge, and here we go. So there's Burton Upon Trent, that's the Midland line, that. Now there is a station between here and there called Horninglow, but that is just a housing estate now, so there's nothing there. So we are about here now, Stretton and Claymills. We're going to follow it up to Rolleston on Dove. Then when you get to about there, unfortunately it's private land, so we're going to have to come round and take the road. But the line went like that to join this line, and we're going to have a little look around there as well. So the North Staffordshire Railway built this in 1848, and this station went in 1949, so 101 years, which is not a bad life given the length of some of the lives of some of the stations around. Okay, so we just come across the road. This was a bridge, so now it's all just filled in, so it's just a regular road, and we get down here and we get onto the track bed into a nice big cutting. It actually looks more like a track bed once you're down here. So looking at that map back there, you might have noticed that this red line, the one we're walking, went off to the left at the end and joined up with another line. That's the Derby Crew line, and there was a little section of green. Now that was the Friargate line, which I seem to have become obsessed with. So we've come to the other side of the bridge. Let me show you, there's some more pictures here. So there we go, that's a nice picture. That's taken from this bridge, which is obviously no more, and it's looking down the other side where the station was. Now what I was saying about the line, so we're walking this, now that, the North Staffordshire line would join up here with this Crew line. So if you remember the one where we walked from Mickleover to Egginton, we stopped there. I thought that was the end of the line and they just shared a line, but there is a section there of that Great Northern Railway which is completely independent, and then we come together. So as I say, this line was built in 1848, but then in 1878, when they built that Derbyshire Staffordshire extension of the Great Northern Railway, it joined up with that Derby Crew line at Egginton Junction. That's where we walked to before, but then obviously it needed to get into Burton to get onto that Midland main line, and also to get all that brewery traffic, because that's what Burton's famous for still now, for brewing beer. So this line was a joint line at that point. They joined up with the North Staffordshire line and they shared the tracks. Hey mate. Oh, the doggy. So that, all the stations on this line closed in 1949, so they lived 100 years. But then the traffic remained up until 1968 for coal coming from Derbyshire, Nottinghamshire coalfields, beer coming the other way, and also the potteries, which is like, you know, Staffordshire, Stoke, that was going the other way as well. So here we've got a gravel dump. So again, it's nice. That's original, obviously. So up there, that's where they would tip gravel down into wagons that were waiting here. Now I'm hoping there might be a picture of that. I know there's like a computer animated one. See, there you go. So we were here before. It was fibbing on that other sign for whatever reason. But there you go. This is taken from that bridge again, but it's coming in this direction. You can see this gravel dump here. And that's what that is there. So that remains. That's probably a better view of it there, you see. Just up there. So there's a siding coming there. And then this, believe it or not, was double track then. Because this was a main line into Burton. Okay, let's walk on. It's not a particularly long walk, this one. At least not the track bed part of it, because we're on it for about 2 miles, maybe just under 2 miles, until we get to Rolleston on Dove, where they've tried to do some preservation at the station, which is nice. Then there was a big bridge, that's out unfortunately, and then the railway line goes into private land. And actually there are some stanchions in the River Dove, but you can't get to them because they're on private land, so I'd have to, you know, go across this farmer's field and stuff, and I'm not going to do that. But what I am then going to do is skirt around the other side. So where this line joined the Derby crew line just outside Egginton Junction, it only joined it for a really short period, like 100 yards, literally that, and then it went off to Derby, Friargate and Nottingham as the Great Northern, obviously, which we've very nearly completed the entirety of. But in that little gap there's some sidings, and there was a Second World War army depot, and I have seen some pictures. Granted they were from a long time ago, but there seems to be some remains there. See, the cutting's getting quite deep now, and it you know, it gets deep pretty quick, to be fair. And nature is being loud. The stations on this line, as I say, went in 1949. Reason being, I'm guessing there wasn't a lot of traffic because it was really rural back then. But it's not so much now. There's lots of new housing estates and stuff. And so you see that a lot on lots of these old railway lines, that you're thinking, actually, if this was active now, with all the housing estates, you know, and you could just jump onto a train up into Derby, you could jump on a train into the centre of Burton, it would probably do an half decent service. But obviously back then, you know, one man and a dog job. So they closed the stations. In terms of station buildings, obviously there's no platform left at Stretton and Claymills, but there are platforms left at Rolleston. The annoying thing is the buildings were wood, so obviously they don't last. You can kind of get away with it, you know, if they're brick buildings and brick station masters' houses and stuff like that, they tend to last. You know, get turned into private dwellings or whatever. But unfortunately they were wooden, so there's a few sort of bits and bobs there. I think there's, you know, some ground foundations and things like that, the signal box and station buildings. But like I say, unfortunately, because they're wood, they're long gone. So as you can see, deep cutting. We've been cutting for the entirety of this section from Stretton and Claymills, and to be fair, even that was in a bit of a cutting before that, just coming out of Burton. So we're not far out of Rolleston on Dove station now. Like I said, it's only a short stomp. Rolleston was opened as just simply Rolleston in 1894, so a lot later than the other stations. The other stations were all opened with the line. This one came a lot later. I'm not sure the reason behind that, but when they opened it as Rolleston, it very quickly was getting confused with Rolleston station, which is just near Nottingham, so they changed it to Rolleston on Dove, which is quite nice sounding, and it's a bit posher. I think we've just found our first bit of railway infrastructure. There we go, you can see, look, the two pillars there. That's just a walkway, which I'm assuming is a public right of way, because as you can see, it's still, you know, it's still a public right of way now. They've just obviously got stairs now. But in the days of the North Staffordshire Railway and the Great Northern Railway, this was quite a high foot crossing. Look, you can tell it's a foot crossing because obviously it's just so thin, but again, it's that engineering brick that just looks so great and is so synonymous with loads of the remains on these Great Northern lines in Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire and Staffordshire. When I was growing up, my dad used to show us videos of like the Great Central Railway, because that was his favourite railway, the Great Central. And if you've watched any of the other stuff earlier on in the channel, me and my dad walked around the remains of that in Leicester, which is where he grew up. And so, growing up down south as I did, everything's red brick. And so I just thought this black brick, blue brick, but it looks black, doesn't it? The black blue brick was a Great Central thing, but it's not. It seems to have been a Midlands and Northern thing, really. And then now, as I get older, you know, even when you go through London, it's a thing there. So it's engineering brick, which I'm assuming just means that it's stronger and more durable or whatever. But it just looks great. Okay, I'm coming into Rolleston on Dove station now. So here you go, the line kind of opens up a bit. What I'll need to do in a minute, I think, is I need to walk up a bank. But that bank is actually the track bed. They've actually filled it in between the two platforms. There you go. It's a nice remain, isn't it? And there you go again, there's that blue brick. So I'm assuming that's a siding dock. Yeah, there's a few bits and bobs there. Let's have a look and see what they're saying here. Aha, so there we go. Oh, so that was taken down well after closure. I guess they couldn't be bothered to you know, keep with the upkeep. Oh, look at that. There you go. I do like me a buffer. So that's how it was then. So it's a cattle dock, pretty much. So let's have a look. Here we go. So there's that bridge in the background. We've just seen the stanchions off, and there's that. Yeah, amazing. And there's the station itself. There you go, look. This is continuing. It's quite long then. It's kind of wooden capped. Oh yeah, there you go. They've just replaced some of the broken stone then. And it comes down there. So there's your goods siding. And so this is where the main line went then. Through that bit there. And in, and like I say, you've got to walk up this bank, but it's just where they filled it in between the two platforms. You can see the two platform edges, look. And they filled that into to be a meadow, to be a kind of, you know, wildflower meadow, I think, which is a nice touch. So that's an original gate. So that would have been an entrance onto the platform. I think there's a walkway there that takes you down to the road. And here we go, there's people sat on the platform. I'll try not to get them in film. There we go, yeah, woodland, bulbs and ferns. Yeah, so that's quite nice. It's nice that it's being used for something rather than just left to rot. Let me get over the other side because there's another notice board there, so we'll have a look at that. This then was one of the station buildings. Oh wow, look at that. I'm assuming that's the toilet then. That looks like a toilet floor, doesn't it? Let's have a look. See, that's a proper stepping stone, that one. And this is what it looked like then. So where's that far end? That's where we've just seen the flooring, look. Yeah, that's a toilet. I know a toilet when I see one. I think through there, that kind of has like a station master's house sort of vibe to it, doesn't it? There you go. It's a nice touch. They've done a good job here, haven't they? Let's have a look. Again, they're all kind of like computer generated rather than actual photos, but I will try and find some photos. So there's the signal box at the end of this platform then. So there's the platform. Obviously the track bed's all filled in. So in theory, a signal box should be in this sort of direction. Let's have a look. Okay, has this got all the pictures on it? No. Loads of birds. Here we go, heritage signal box. So there you go. So that's the bottom of the signal box. See, because they're all wooden, they're long gone. Although you never know, sometimes they were taken away and put other places. So there's Tutbury Crossing. So Tutbury is just up the road. Station's still open. So there's Harninglow. That is the one between Burton and where we started the walk. That station, that's the one that's just a housing estate now, so there's an out left. It did have quite a decent sort of brick bottom then, and they've just basically just saved the foundation, didn't they? Okay, so that's where I'm gonna have to walk in a minute, down to the road and then off, because it goes through private land. But I'm gonna see if there's some bridge remains at the end here. I've come up here once years ago with my brother. See, you know, before I was making videos and stuff like that. It doesn't look like there are any remains. Let's have a look. I'm conscious of going over the edge. So that's where the track goes, right there in that field. So you can't get there because there's, you know, warning signs and private property, and they've made it pretty clear. So I'm going to have to walk up the road and well, hopefully I'm going to find these remains of this World War II army depot. I'm going to build it up now, so if it's not there, it's going to be quite embarrassing, really, isn't it? Okay, so I'm coming up the road now. So basically the location where I finished that walk from Mickle over to Egginton Junction, I'm just going to come over that railway bridge where Egginton station was on that Derbyshire Staffordshire extension. I walked over the Derby crew line there and I wanted to get a bit of footage of that, but a guy started barking at me here. So I knocked it on the head. Okay, so there's that bridge. That's the track bed there of the line to Derby. Just through there, you can just make out that's Egginton station. Now what I'm interested in is these woods, basically. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going, if I'm honest, but I know I'm going in the right direction, so I've managed to kind of find what I think is an old road, which isn't a road anymore. But then obviously this depot isn't there anymore, so that's my thinking, is actually if I follow this, then it might take me into the woods, and hopefully there then I can find these remains. Right, that's where I've come off the road, look, and it's all fenced up. It doesn't go anywhere, but obviously look, there's street lighting and stuff there, old street lighting, so this would have gone somewhere once. That's my logic. So I'm coming into the woods now. It's like a nature reserve, I think. It's called Hilton Valley Woods. Hilton is a village just behind me, although it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just housing estate after housing estate now. Oh mate, it's squelchy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk in the direction of the line, the active line, and then I'm going to start hunting. Because like I say, I did see a photo, but it was from like 15, 16 years ago or something, I think, something like that. And it showed that rail was still embedded and that there was, you know, some lights, some lamps and stuff from when it was an army rail depot. So I mean, it's remote as you like, you know, there's no buildings here. I'm in a wood, so I don't see why the remains would have gone. Okay. Oh, hey squirrel, where are you going? Squizzer. Through there, that's a house now, but that's Egginton Station from when it was part of the Great Northern's Frygate line. See, look, this fence is here, but there was a fence there and there isn't anymore. So I'm thinking, I'm getting, you know, it's not beyond the realms, folks. Okay, so here's the cobweb. Here's the fence. So I'm thinking if I cling to this, here we go. Can you see some brickwork? I've got to contend with a trench, but there is some brickwork there, a bit of corrugated iron. There's bits and bobs going on now. Right, I've just got to contend with getting over here because it's really slippy. Okay, I think I was trying to get in a bit too soon. So there you go. Can you see that there? There's the tracks coming off. So they're coming off then and coming into this depot. So let me try and get a little bit closer down there. I'm hoping that it kind of opens up a bit. So I'm pretty sure from what I could find out, which was granted minimal, this depot's gone by the 50s, I think. And they may well have obviously kept some of the sidings and used some of the sidings to, you know, just store bits and bobs, but I'm pretty sure the actual depot itself was gone by the 50s, 60s. So in terms of remains, they are minimal, but I have seen pictures, so now I'm like, what's going on? Oh mate, here we go. Here we go. So that is the gate there then. and we've got track remains in the woods. So there's more there, through there as well, but obviously I'm not clambering over that, but here we go. So this is where the line, because these are sidings basically. So you've got the line, the Derby Crew line, then you've got these sidings that were there, used by the railway, because obviously they're not behind this fence. Whereas this is related to that depot. Bird just scared the life out of me. Oh, I just got stung on the leg and all. Amazing. Right, so I'm going to keep following this, but I'm going to come off of it slightly. So there you go, look at that. Just keep following it. See where we get. So I'm well happy with that. There's trees growing out of it and all sorts. There you go, look, right out in between the sleepers, look. So that's how long this has been abandoned. All the way up to the canopy. Okay, let's just keep following this track then. See where it goes. Oh mate, I used to love building dens when I was a kid. So the track bed dies out and these lights are not there. The only thing I'm thinking, well, there's two things I'm thinking, because they've cleared all this land for that housing estate and they've made some nice fields and stuff. Maybe that's got rid of them, or they're in this big bit over there, which is all fenced off, so I can't get in that. That's my only thinking, but they're not in here. So they could well be, like I say, in that bit, like further down and stuff. But you can't get in there, unfortunately. But you can see like the rails remain there, and they keep going for a fair while. Whereas that track I was following is long gone. So there you go. There's the track. I'm back to the end of it now, and it just fizzles out. Just right there into those trees, and that's the end of it. It's just cut. But like I say, the fields through there look dead nice, so that might be where these old lights are. I don't know why I'm so suddenly obsessed with Army Depot lights. I think it's because all I've found of that depot is basically those tiny little bit of red bricks. I mean, there's loads of track here, which is amazing. Like normally I'd be buzzing off that, but in terms of the actual depot itself, there's less remains than I thought, which is a bit annoying. But either way, bit of track, that's cool. Plus the walk from just outside Burton through Rolleston on Dove. That was a nice little stomp down that cutting, and also, it's nice that they've done what they've done. So I'm coming down a bank, so I might stack it. It's nice what they've done in terms of, keeping the whole station thing alive, really, and having the, I'm still looking, and having the sign there and that kind of stuff. A bit of track there. I always think that's quite nice that there's, they're just pointing towards the history that was there, Another thing I'm thinking as well, I'm looking for posts, like light posts, and look where I'm looking. Just tons of trees. It's like the worst place. It's like, where's Wally? There's Wally. Anyway, thanks for watching. Another bit of the Great Northern done. I wasn't expecting to do this bit because I was just going to go from, just outside Nottingham to Egginton Junction. This was just like an extra bonus bit, really. So thanks for watching and subscribing and commenting and all that sort of stuff. It's much appreciated. It's always nice to get ideas from people as well. And I'll see you next time. These lights that I pointed out before I went hunting are the actual lights. What a donut. So this was the access road into the depot. The depot has now been built on. It's what this industrial estate is. Oh mate, why didn't I Google that before? What a donut. So the image that I'd seen, which I thought was in the woods, is actually just there in that tree. Oh mate. I'll see you next time.